Hello YouTube. As promised, I wanted to do another theory lesson today. Of course, for you guys that are following along that aren't Patreons, that's not a problem at all, but please consider following. Have a look at the Patreon link and what's on there. I will upload like a primer to all of these scales. I actually have a whole page of these scales ready to go. I just want to make a few tweaks. And I do know that these lessons cover the majority of the work, but it's nice to have those tabs. Of course, there's transcriptions and there's all kinds of other things on there for just $2 a month or $5 a month. It's worth checking out. Please consider it. But again, thanks for enjoying the videos. Just comment and like it. It all helps, and share the videos. So today, carrying on from last week, I talked briefly, I mentioned, that I would like to move on to the cycle of fourths next. But I want to explain really quickly how the cycle of fourths differs from the cycle of fifths and why we have a cycle of fourths. So obviously with the key of C, as we mentioned last time, you've probably been working on your scale, like C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. No sharps or flats, okay? So if we go up from C, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we take the fourth, okay, so that's F, let's play from here. And we play all the notes, we play a tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone scale, the major scale. We go F, G, so we've got a tone, A. We're gonna get a semitone here, okay? We need a semitone there to make a major scale. So we're on F, tone, tone, tone would be wrong, that's gotta be a semitone. So what's happened is, we're on F, we've gone to G, that's fine, major scale. Gone to A, that's fine, major scale. Gone to B, not major scale. So this is the note essentially that we've dropped. We've actually dropped a note rather than raised the note, as you might remember we had to do with the cycle of fifths. Now, with the cycle of fifths, every time we took a major scale, okay, so if we took the key of C and we went to G and we played up tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone, you would find the seventh degree was raised up one to make that scale. So when we were in G, we went up to A, B, C, D, E, and then key of C had F natural, key of G needs F sharp. All right, so we've raised the seventh degree to complete that. And by doing so, we've got a note that's a sharp, and so we've had to add a sharp moving from the C major to the G major, okay? And that sharp is F sharp. Now, when we went from G and we went to D, that same process left us with, we keep the F sharp, we have to now add C sharp. So again, we raise the seventh degree. With the cycle of fourths, we are continually flattening the fourth degree. So we're going F, we're going G, A, B flat, okay? C, D, E, F. Now let's keep the rules of F, let's keep the B flat, okay? But we're gonna start our next key in the cycle of fourths, F, G, A, or F, G, A, sorry, that's 3. 4 is the B flat. This is where we start our nearest scale going up a fourth. And what we'll find happens here, we're on B flat right now. We start a scale from here. B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, A, B flat, okay? So again, this time around, we don't get to use E natural, we need to use E flat. So the new key has B flat and E flat, okay? This continues on, we go to the key of E flat, we get B flat, A flat, B flat, E flat, and A flat, okay? Then we go to the key of A flat, we get B flat, E flat, A flat, and D flat, etc. I'm gonna write that in the description, okay? But what we're gonna do now is just play through a 1 octave version of each of these. So, key of F, so we're going to use open position here, F, G, A, open, B flat, and C, D, E, F, okay? Now, bonus round here, let's do this from the F right here, okay? And keep in mind, this is what we call a root 4 major scale, okay? Because we're starting on the 4th string, okay? And the root notes on the 4th string. F, G, okay? A, it's on the 2nd fret there. B flat, C. Remember from our discussion last week, we shift up. D, E, F, okay? And backwards. Okay, and we're using a B flat to make the F major scale. Okay, then we go up to a B flat. We're going to play from here. B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, A, B flat. Let's do it backwards. Okay, it's the same pattern as what we've been learning in the cycle of fifths, so you should know that pattern really comfortably. And if you don't, that's okay. But by going over the other ones, I've probably described them a little more thoroughly. I'm moving at a quicker pace this time around because it should be a little easier. From B flat, we're going to go to E flat. Okay, we move a fourth when we go straight across. So we've got E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat, C, D, and E flat. I'm going to go backwards: E flat, D, C, B flat, A, G, F, and E flat. Sorry, I just realised I played that note there. It should have actually been A flat. Check back now what I did there. I think I might have played it wrong the whole time. So let me just make sure you know E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat, C, D, E flat. Okay. Yeah. Sorry about that. It's getting quite late. Now from E flat, the next one we want is going to be A flat. So we've got an A flat here, B flat, C, D flat, E flat, F, G, flat. So the addition here is the D flat. Okay, then from A flat we go to D flat, D flat, E flat, F, G flat, A flat, B flat, C, D flat, C, B flat, A flat, G flat, F, E flat, D flat. So right now we've on the D flat, the addition here is the G flat. Okay, now from here we go to G flat. Okay, so the new flat that we add happens to be the next scale as well because it's the cycle of fourths. So it's the fourth note that gets flattened in every next new scale, and we've gone up 4 for every key. So F upper fourth is B flat, upper fourth is E flat, etc. You can see this all in the chart below. So G flat, we've got G flat, A flat, B flat, C flat, horrible note, anyway, D flat, E flat, F, G flat, G flat, F, E flat, D flat, C flat, B flat, A flat, G flat. Okay, that's all of them, because at this point now, if we start thinking about C flat, you'd be better off thinking of B major. You would have an F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, D sharp, and A sharp, where if we decided to call this C flat, we'd have B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, C flat, and F flat, which would be awful. No one wants to do that. So this is why we have, that's why we have flat keys and sharp keys as well, because it's also sometimes much easier to think of taking certain tones and moving them up, as opposed to taking certain tones and moving them down, or vice versa. For example, when I mentioned that C flat scale, okay, so C flat, D flat, E flat. Now, we have to call this an F flat, okay? But if we start from here and just call it B, and call that a C sharp, and that a D sharp, we get to call that E. So that's one less accidental that we need to use. So sharps and flats do have a general name, and it's called an accidental. So probably should have told you that earlier. Anyway, so there you go. That's pretty much all there is for this lesson. Just practice through those cycle of fourths and keep an eye on those notes. Next lesson, things are going to get a bit more interesting, because what I want to start doing is 2 octave scales, right? So instead of just practicing, we're going to look at what the next octave looks like. Okay, and then G. Okay, then you'd be going D, and it will be the same thing. Okay, it's the same thing as what we did from C. So once you've kind of learnt 2 of those, you've kind of learnt, the majority of all the root 6 and root 5 ones. So That's next lesson. I'll get into a bit more detail on that. You might be able to pick up plenty from what I just did then. But I want to slowly build your fretboard knowledge. It doesn't happen overnight, but if we follow this process, I'll start filling in the blanks and giving you really good perspectives, what I think are really good perspectives on moving up. And there'll be, PDF transcriptions of these things to work from for Patreon members. So thanks for watching. You guys have been really helpful lately. Please comment, let me know what you think, ask questions. I had a great discussion on the last lesson with somebody. I do apologize, I forgot your name, but I hope you're here today, continuing despite me forgetting your name. And again, fire away. There were great questions that were asked. In fact, I think it's worth very quickly addressing. I think the discussion was generally, what is the question was generally, what is the use of knowing these things? And I think my conclusion was sort of that it's great for composing and understanding music on paper a little better, a lot better, and communicating with other musicians as well. But I'd also like to say that I think one of the really useful things is that when you learn ideas, if you're completely reliant on shapes, right, and then knowing where your 1 and your 2 and your 3 and your 4 is, then when you try to translate, if you ever try to translate those other ideas to sections of the neck that don't look as familiar, if you know the notes and you know the keys and you know all of those things, they're just more things to reference off. It's just deeper knowledge and a more solidified roadmap. So anyway, I've gone over the time I wanted to spend on this, so I have to let that go there. We can continue this discussion. But again, thanks for watching. I'll see you next week with the 2 octave scales. Looking forward to it.